I have my on with us, Ms. Taiwo with Global African Investors Alliance, and we're going to speak on really focus on investing in Africa, but really in particular Nigeria because we're Omo Niger over here. So that's what we're
Omo
going to
Niger.
Omo Niger. So so that's what we're going to focus on. Taiwo, glad to have you on all the way from the UK.
Thank you too for having me.
No problem. So Taiwo, introduce yourself and you know tell everybody who you
A
are,
little-
your books. You got to tell people about your books too, and
Yeah. I've got them right here. So I'm gonna introduce them. Last time I have forgot. So hello everyone, and I'm very very happy to be here. I'm Taiwo Orishayomi, Omo Niger, born in Nigeria, and I lived in Nigeria until the age of 10. And then I moved to France, and I grew up in Paris until the age of 22 with my mother. So after my studies, I came to the UK, and I've been living in the UK since 2001. So in the UK, I am a real estate investor. I dabbled into the real estate investment back in 2008 when I bought my first property. And I've been hooked ever since, really.
mm,
So I am one of the founders of one of the real estate strategies that is being used today in the UK for people who don't have a lot of capital to get started in the real estate industry. In 2011, I released my first book, my first business book, which is called To Rent to Rent. I'm not sure if you can see it. Here you go. Rent to Rent, massive cash during a massive crash, which was a massive bestseller, in the UK and on Amazon as well. And the following year, in 2012, I released the second book, which is, again, Rent to Rent, is the purple one. All the legals, for landlords and agents to know. So the first one is the strategy, and the second one is the legal, side of it. And the reason why I had to release the second one was because the strategy just picked up well like wildfire. Everyone was jumping on it, everyone was doing it, but a lot of people were doing it the wrong way. So a lot of people were going against the law, and I was being interviewed by the BBC. Everyone was coming after me and telling me that I was giving people the wrong advice when it comes to real estate. So I had to relate the second one to say, hey, people, you just need to slow down a little bit, and you need to learn the property law in the UK before applying the strategy.
mm.
So yeah, I've been in the real estate ever since, really, and retired at the age of 35, 5 years ago.
How did you
Uh,
go into that? Everybody's talking about retiring early. Like, what's the
so,
strategy to retiring early?
well, the thing is, you first of all have to throw away everything that you've learned so far. Um, all the, I would say, blocks, that people in the society, put on us. Um, there's no reason why everyone should retire at the age of 65, 67, or 69. I don't believe that at all. I've
Right.
always said to myself that by the age of 40, I have to retire. And so that I will have the energy to travel the world and do other things. So the secret of retiring early basically is you just need to have a plan. You have to
Right.
write down your business plan. You have to write down your life plan and put everything in writing, and then just go step by step. That's what I did, really. So the secret of me retiring very early was first of all creating several streams of passive incomes,
Can you go
and
into those different streams?
yeah, absolutely. The first stream was real estate.
Okay.
The moment I bought my first house, and
Hmm.
then the second, and then the third, and so on and so forth. I knew exactly how much I wanted in cash every month. For some people it might be 5 grand, for some people it might be 25 grand. For me, I had a figure in my mind, how much was my expenses and how much I want to have in passive income. So I tailor-made my real estate investment according to that. So I needed to buy, let's say 10 houses, 10 property real estate, rental real estate, to be able to achieve what I wanted. So when I got that, that was when I was able to retire. And then in the meantime, I had other streams of passive income, like my books, investing in stock markets, investing in smaller businesses, investing in cryptocurrency. I'm one of the people that got into the cryptocurrency very early on. So Bitcoin was very, very rewarding when it started, going up for me. So yeah.
Guys, make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe as well. Now, you said your first property you bought, was it a rental property? Or were you living in the property, or?
The first property I bought was mine, was the one I was living in. Yes.
Okay. Now, some people would say you shouldn't. Well, Grant Cardone, he's big on don't own the home that you live in. Like, what would be your thoughts on that?
Sorry, the crackling is getting louder.
Yeah, but we're good in the chat room, which is a good thing. So, would you own? Okay, would you recommend somebody's first property that they acquire? Should it be a rental or should it be their own home? Like,
well, it depends on what people learn. For me, it makes sense your first property to be your own property, because of the rules in the UK, at least. If you have your own house, you are allowed to rent out rooms in your house. Let's say, i.e., Airbnb, rent out, maybe 1 room or 2 rooms in your house, up to about £8,000 a year, tax free. So if you were to have your own property, you're making your house work for you. The house is, producing income, and then you can use that income to purchase your first rental property. So that would be the strategy that I would go for. Okay. My strategy would not be a rental income first. No, absolutely not.
Okay. So you're in the UK. You have all these rental properties. Do you still own a good deal of your property still, or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My strategy is never sell. When you buy, you don't sell, you keep. Because I learned, I was on a stream a few days ago with Gina, and I explained to her how I got into the property industry. When I came to the UK at the age of 22, I was living in a house share with this very old lady. There were about 5 of us living in the house. And this old lady is a Jamaican woman. She loved myself and my twin sister. And she came to us and she said, she asked us if we wanted to buy the house from her. It was a 5-bedroom house in London, in the heart of London. So because we're very young, we're 22, we didn't care. We're just, we didn't want to have any burden, any debt on us. So we declined our offer, and she was offering the house to us at about £80,000, everything included. So we declined the offer, and lo and behold, a Lebanese man came in, bought the house from her, and he kicked us all out. He made us all homeless. And about a couple of years later, the house was worth, £250,000. And then 5 years later, it was worth £500,000. And today, the house is worth £1.5 million. So when you buy a property, I will always say to people, just don't sell. If you don't have to sell, just keep it.
Okay. So let me ask you, for those who are like, look, I want to up and leave and go to Africa, would you recommend them still holding their property in the States or in Europe?
Absolutely. I would advise them to hold, to keep the rental, to keep the property as a rental property, because that would be a fixed income that they would not, it would be very, very hard to find that kind of income in Africa. So just say, for your own peace of mind, keep the property, rent it out, and use that rental income as your fallback, plan.
Now, Taro, you left Africa, you went to France. Then from France, you went to the UK.
The UK.
Were you, during this time, transitioning from country to country, did you ever consider going back to Nigeria?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I knew that at some point I would go back to Nigeria, and all my plans, all my unintentionally, subconsciously, actually, I knew that I was going to start a company in Africa, in Nigeria. I did not know what was going to be, because I wasn't in the real estate at that time. When I was, in my 20s, I wasn't in the real estate at all. So I knew that at some point I would love to go back home. So, yeah.
Okay. So, Global African Investors Alliance, what exactly is it? If you could, because people, the topic of the show is making investing easy in Africa. And I think people overcomplicate it. How
Absolutely.
will break it down and make it and simplify it for those who are?
Oh my goodness. To be honest with you, I don't understand how and why people just overcomplicate everything. Things, investing, hold on. Because okay, I had something popped up on my screen. Invested in either here or in Africa, I find it quite straightforward, especially today with so many information online, so many books that are out there that would teach you, whatever you want for free. So invested in Africa, or particularly Nigeria, even for those who do not detain the nationality of Nigeria, can also invest in Nigeria. And this is another thing that people don't realize, that you don't actually need to have or own a nationality in the country. You can still go start investing, start mingling with the people, knowing the politics of the country, and before you know it, you will meet the right people, and then your passports can be arranged, quite straightforwardly. So investing in Nigeria, for example, buying land. All you need is, your capital coming. You can go through someone like myself. We link you up with a legal, with a lawyer, with a property lawyer, find you the right place for you, and then, help you go. And what I will advise everyone at the moment, people who are perhaps hesitating, there's something that is called land banking. I don't know if you're familiar with land banking.
Go ahead. I'm not.
Okay. Land banking is just that you can instead of putting your capital in the bank, just buy a piece of land. You can buy a piece of land for, let's say, less than £500, $500. A 600 square foot piece of land, which is quite huge. I don't know if can you imagine, can you visualize how big is a 600 square, Yeah, you can build a proper, house with garden in front, garden at the back. That's how big it is for less than $500, and you just keep it, sit on it. And if you don't want to build it, just leave it there and let the value appreciate. Let's say in maybe 4 years time, 3 years time, the value might have doubled, tripled, quadrupled. If you want to sell, you sell. If you want to keep it, you keep it. And everyone has got access to that.
Now, how does someone get started as far as, they're interested in land? Well, number one, let's start on, how do we change the negative stereotypes of Nigeria? Because the minute you bring up Nigeria, scam, 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 scam. Let's start there.
when people talk about scam in Nigeria, it's just another reason to be lazy. It's another reason to not do anything. It's another reason to just be, dormant and just complain and moan. In my opinion, this is how I say it. Nigeria scams. Okay, let me tell you something. A couple of years ago, I was reading the newspaper, and it was a Nigerian scammer.
Right.
Hold on. It was called Nigerian Scam. And the picture showed a retired white American guy living in China, doing this scamming from China, but it's called Nigerian Scam.
Right.
Okay. So Nigeria's got that stereotype, unfortunately, because there are a lot of us and we are everywhere. But I've been to Nigeria twice last year. I've never been safer. Mm-hmm. You've been to Nigeria many times. No one has come up, after you. No one, and you are walking around with your big, expensive cameras. Yeah. No one has held it at gunpoint, to nick your camera from you. Mm. There's nobody carrying guns, shooting everyone in the market. We've been out at night, late night. Everyone is minding their own business. Right. I've actually there was some instance where I had to go to an ATM at about 11 p.m. I walked myself to the ATM. It was all lit. There was security at the ATM. And, I walked there. I did what I needed to do. I did my transaction. I walked back home. Nobody bothered me. No one could. Everyone was just minding their own business.
Right.
I feel safer in Lagos than when I go to London.
Mm-hmm. Me too. And I try to tell people this, but they don't believe me for some reason. I don't know why. They don't believe.
Well, they don't believe because, as I say, it is an excuse to not do anything. Uh-huh. There's no place in the world where you can say there's no criminality, there's no, of course there is criminality everywhere, but you cannot paint the whole Nigeria as a criminal, infested, place. Absolutely not. Anyone that is overlooking Nigeria, especially in business, today is just, shooting themselves in the foot. Is everything okay?
No, everything's fine.
Yep. Okay. Anyone that is overlooking Nigeria, in terms of business, is just they're shooting themselves at the foot.
Right.
Because I see Nigeria as a place that is a bubbling, it's buzzing. Everyone is ready. You've got young people hungry to work. You've got everything for you to just start your business. Right. And it pains me when I go home and when I see, people like the Chinese, they're kicking it, they're doing what they had to do to make money. And I do see our own people, the diaspora, who have the power and the capital, no matter how big or small the capital could be, and another way of thinking that we can come in and start a business, because people in Nigeria and people in that are set in their ways. If I were to come to America, for example, I will see opportunities that you don't see.
Exactly.
When I came to the UK, I saw opportunities that nobody saw, and I made it. So if you were to go to Nigeria, anybody go to Nigeria, you'll see opportunities that people there are not seeing, and that gives you the opportunity to to make a million within a very short space of time. So I see Chinese, going, not a lot. I mean, I've seen a few, and they're making their businesses, they're making money. So why not diaspora give, Africa, Nigeria a chance, come in and give it a go? What have you got to lose?
Mm-hmm. Guys, make sure you hit that like button as you come to the chat room, and please share How can people contact you, Taiwo?
Okay. My website is, I mean, if you Google Global African Investors Alliance, it will come back, it will come out. That's the long version of it. So globalafricaninvestorsalliance.com, it will come out. Or the short version of it is ekabo.africa.
Mm. Well,
which is an idea of yours.
right. Dot Africa. Absolutely. Guys, if you guys don't know, the Dot Africa extension is available. I have a couple. Dot Africa. So your website could be Dot Africa. So that's available. But, if people continue to overlook, you see, this is the thing. They say the spending power of Black America is, I think, $1 or $2 trillion. And
Yes.
I'm telling people the amount of money I see Nigerians flashing and the amount of wealth they have, and just by pure numbers, I mean, there's 200 million Nigerians in Nigeria. Nigerians have the largest diaspora, Black diaspora on the planet. I don't know if they haven't calculated it yet, but I'm willing to bet that the spending power of Nigerians is probably more. Because I don't know where they get this $2 trillion. But I'm telling you, when I'm driving around Nigeria, especially Lagos, and the amount of just Black ownership and what they own as far as major industries, I'm looking at hospitality. The richest Black people on the planet are in Nigeria. I would say Nigerians probably have the largest spending power. What are your thoughts?
Nigerians, we cannot say that we are poor, and we cannot say that we're wealthy either, because when you come out of Lagos and Abuja, you just see cash poor people, not poor, but just cash poor people. In terms of how much, I mean, I can figure out how much exactly kind of capital Nigerians own. I don't know, but what I do know is that in the UK or in America or even in other European countries, Nigerians are leading in terms of Black businesses. In the UK, anyway, Nigerians are leading in Black businesses.
The Gatwick Airport is owned by Nigerian, right?
Yes, Gatwick Airport is owned by Nigerian, and I believe there's another smaller one that's also owned by the same man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of capital power. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, the country is not really adapted to us bringing that capital back.
Right.
Because, for example, when I say capital in terms of money, a lot of us are outside, and we we have businesses outside, and our money is unfortunately kept outside. Unless we are Pan-African like myself, where we're trying to involved our countries. But no, Nigerians we're not poor at all. I don't think so. We're not.
Now, outside of real estate, what other industries are available for people to invest in Nigeria?
Yeah. One thing that was part of my business plan, 10 years ago, was to learn about stock markets.
Right.
So when I retired,
do you know anything about the Nigerian stock market? I just before I ask,
Yes. I know a little bit. Not a lot, but I know a little bit. The stock market, I decided to learn about the stock market once I retired. And the person that I went to teach me about stock market was Dr. Boyce Watkins. No. I don't know if you know, you probably all familiar with Dr. Boyce Watkins. So I joined his business school. And he has, tons and tons of lectures about how to, pick a company to register with, how to pick stocks, how to study the performance and everything. So I went and I became a student, and that's how I started to invest in the stock market. And I found the equivalent here in the UK of the names of the apps that he would give, in America. I will find the equivalent here in the UK, and I will join and I will just apply the theories that I've learned. And then, stock market is, again, is very, very easy. Even if you don't have time to learn about the nitty gritty, how to read the Nasdaq and all this places, you can just have things like Cash App. Is it Cash App?
No, you're talking about like
no, not Cash App. Sorry.
There's Acorn. There's
Acorn. Exactly. In the UK, we've got things like Moneybox, and one of those. You just decide. You link it to your bank account. You decide how much you want to be investing every week. You set it. You put in your direct debit, and automatically they invest money for you without you having to be involved. So there's several ways, to get involved in the stock market. And then the second thing I would say, which is not to be neglected or criticized, would be the cryptocurrency. Even though the cryptocurrency is quite low at the moment, it is fine, which means that this is the best time for you to buy and to log into that, to tap into that opportunity. Cryptocurrency, a little bit of money here and there, put it in. You can use Coinbase. Again, Coinbase, very straightforward. Put it in and then forget about it. And then yours, the Karatbar.
Karatbar, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Karatbar as well, because the way the world is going on, I would say to people, invest in gold and silver.
Right.
Invest in gold and silver. It's something that is tangible that you can take away with you. And yes,
With that being said, me and Fitzgerald will be on at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time
today.
Today, yeah. So we'll be on 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. Everybody, are there any questions in the chat room, people? Any questions in the chat room? If you have any questions,
before I start taking questions in the chat room, I would just touch on one or two other things, if you don't mind.
Oh, please.
The Global African Investors Alliance is not just about real estate. When people visit the website, they will see a lot about real estate, buying land, farmland, and etc. But if they were to go on the YouTube page, we offer advice on how the diaspora can invest in businesses in Nigeria. And the way we've gone about it is to give people the opportunity to become business, partners. So let's say someone has skills in hairdressing, for example, in America, and you want to invest in hairdressing in Nigeria. We can find you, a few companies that might need. They want to do joint venture, or they want capital injection. You can come in, invest in their businesses. You've got 20, 30, 40%, capital in that businesses, and you can just work together with them. Either you want to have, maybe you're an electrician, you're specialized in solar panels. You want to have a solar panel, partner in Nigeria, we can hook you up with them. So no matter what skills you've got at the moment in Europe or in America, you can always extend your skills to somebody or a company in Nigeria and become partnership. I know that some people don't have the opportunity to just get up and go. I understand that, but you can still have a partnership and investment, in Africa, and you're making money over there, you're making money over here. So if you were to visit our website There are about 20 something odd videos that are there about different kind of businesses that you can just have a look. If you're interested, get in touch with us, and then we'll link you up with Nigerian businesses.
And also, too, shout out to Brutality Jungle Way. For people who are serious and have a business plan and are looking for financing for major projects like this, I have a guy here in Atlanta that says that he could connect you to financing. So,
Yeah.
heavy equipment, medical equipment, things like that. Just let me know. I have a guy here in Atlanta that could connect you to financing for big projects. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Actually, I'm going to add to that as well. We are actually working with one of the biggest banks in Africa, and they have extended, their openness to us. So if anybody has got exactly what you've just said, if you have a business plan, something very, very solid and tangible, and there is a project that you want to start in Nigeria, the bank will fund it. It will fund it with us. But it has to be, write down your business plan, and it's if it's a serious project, we have people that will fund it for you.
Okay. Now, okay. So as far as real estate, here in America, we're used to taking out a mortgage. And so a lot of us are programmed that way. Are there any, how's that work in Nigeria?
Okay. Okay. With mortgages, personally, unless you're going for a big project, and when I'm talking about multi-million, dollars project, I will advise you to not go the mortgage route, because the houses and apartment, everything is quite affordable. And there are payment plans that we have directly with the developers, that will facilitate for you to pay within 12 months, within 24 months. For example, maybe you want to buy a 2-bedroom apartment. That 2-bedroom apartment will probably cost you, let's say, maybe 10 million naira, which is about
$28,000. Is it?
No.
30. It's about 30,000, 35,000 USD.
Oh, US dollars. Okay, it's in the UK.
It's about 34,000 USD.
Yeah, in the UK, it's about 25,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25,000 pounds. That's for an apartment in Nigeria. So what you do is you put down a deposit of about 3.5 million, which is about 5,000 pounds.
Right.
And then you have 24 months to pay the rest gradually.
That sounds fair. I mean, you're technically not dealing with 35,000 USD.
Exactly.
For some,
exactly.
To own something, that's not a lot.
Exactly. Because when you look at the mathematics of mortgages, you realize that you're paying double or triple the amount of money that the bank is loaning you. You're paying back £2 on £1, or $2 on a dollar, $2.5 on a dollar. So mortgages, unless you really need it, it's not a route that I will suggest. In thinking about investing in Africa, in Nigeria particularly, the developers have different kind of plans in place. Some of the developers might even give you 5 years, 5-year time for you to pay off what you owe. So mortgages, no, I wouldn't advise it at all.
And then I know in Nigeria, I heard of interest rates being like 30%. something.
Yeah, 25-30%. Yes, exactly, 25-30%. It just doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, I wouldn't advise it.
Yeah, because the mortgage I'm paying on my house right now, I'm at like 3%, which isn't bad, but still
even 3%, any of my mortgages is about 3% here. I'm like frowning. Oh,
Yeah.
God, that's a little bit high for me. But in Nigeria, when you're thinking about 25, 30%, it's just unattainable. It's unattainable.
It's crazy. Let's see here. Any questions for the chat room? Please ask. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask.
The thing is, a lot of the mistakes that we in the diaspora tend to do is that we don't look at Africa as an option when it comes to investment. We just overlook it completely, thinking it's not even worth it, and we don't realize that is actually where you get the most return on your investment.
Right. Let's see.
For example,
no, go ahead.
For example, sorry?
No, go ahead.
Okay. For example, there's a project that we're working on at the moment, which is the concept of student accommodation. So we got a group of private property developers that are now put forward the concept of building privately owned student accommodations around the universities in Nigeria, and people can just plug into the project. For example, you can have maybe if you have maybe £10,000, for example, you can actually buy 2 student pods, 2 student units, and you own the place. The management manage it for you, and every month, every year, you get a return on your investment, and before you know it, within 5 years, you've got all your money back, and then the rest is just profit. And anyone can plug into that. You don't have to be you don't have to have the nationality of Nigeria to be able to plug into that kind of investment. So anyone that's got any kind of funds or capital, instead of leaving it in a bank, yielding absolutely zero interest, put it in an investment, put in a real estate, in a program, in a project, and yield income. Easy.
Kellen wants to know, what's the minimum investment and average return on the money?
What's the
minimum investment and average return on the money?
Well, it depends. Are you talking about investing in a business, or are you talking about investing in real estate?
Yeah, Kellen, can you be more clear? Because that's very vague and abstract. Just investing in what particular?
Let me just assume that she's investing in a real estate, for example. Okay. So if you're investing in, for example, there is this project that is being built at the moment called the Dangote Refinery in Lagos. Right. I'm pretty sure you're aware of it.
Largest refinery in the world, or in Africa.
Yeah, massive project. It will be ready, they're saying, by 2022.
Oh, wow.
And they're saying by 2022 we'll be ready. Yeah. It's about, I think it's about 50%, so 60% built now. So they say that by 2022 it will be ready. So in that area in Lagos, which is where most of the property that are on the Global African Investors Alliance are, around that area, if you are to buy a 1-bedroom apartment for, let's say, 10 million, your yearly income on that apartment is 2.5 million.
Oh, wow. Now that's Lekki Aja.
It's Ibeju-Lekki.
Okay.
Ibeju-Lekki, yes. So I'm putting 10 million down on in a 1-bedroom flat, and I'm guaranteed that every year I have a rental income of at least 2.5 million, which means within 5 years I've got all my money back on that investment, and the rest, everything from there on is just pure profit.
Brutality Jungle Way, send me an email after the. Go ahead and send me an email. Brutality, you have my phone number. Call me, and I'll get you connected to my guy here in Atlanta. But call me. Any other questions in the chat room?
And for people who are interested in farming, for example, I've got a lot of inquiry about farming. If you're interested in farming, farmland is dead cheap in Nigeria, dead cheap. And I'm talking one, plot of land for less than £300. Dead cheap. So you can actually invest in farmland and rent out your farmland to a farmer, and you get passive income from that. And you don't have to be there. You don't have to be there managing it. Someone else will be managing it for you, and all you just need to do, just sit back and just get your money. So when we're talking about investment in Nigeria, we're not talking about millions of dollars. We're talking about, something that is accessible to everybody.
Hey, Kellen wants to know, can you open up a bank account in Nigeria online? Kellen, why are you so scared to come to Nigeria, Kellen? Just come to Nigeria. Come on, man. Come to Nigeria, Kellen. Come to Nigeria and open up your bank account, Kellen.
Well, you can open online. Yes, I'm going to answer. You can open online, but it's not going to be. It's quite difficult, because you will not have access to the card, debit card, or the little dongle, the security dongle. You have to collect those, on the spot. You have to come to Nigeria to collect those. And you have to there's what we call the BVN, which is an additional layer of security in for all Nigerian banks.
Well, that's the thing. In order to open a bank account, you have to do the BVN, don't you?
Yeah, you have to do a BVN. Yes. Yeah. It's just because it's it's just an additional layer of security for everybody. It's actually a good thing. I don't say it as a bad thing. It is quite tenacious to go through all these things, but once it's done, it's done. But that to do any transaction, you have to be there on the spot, collect your cards, collect your dongles, so you can actually operate your account from anywhere in the world. But yes, you can open an account online. We can connect you with one of the banks that we work with, which is called Zenith Bank.
Right.
Yeah.
Taxes. How do taxes work in Nigeria? Like taxes.
How does what?
Taxes.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, the good news is you pay a lot less taxes than what you pay in the Western Hemisphere. A lot less taxes. I believe that the tax is about it's just been increased to, I think, 7.5 or something like that.
I was used to
pardon?
When I was in corporate America, when I was doing sales and I was getting my bonus checks, I was used to them taking out 45% out of my check.
Yeah. I know. I can understand that it's the same thing here in the UK. It's it's minimum 30%, and then when you reach the threshold, it goes up to 45%. But in Nigeria, you get to keep most of the money that you earn. And a lot of things are not even are not tax deductible. So the tax is almost non-existent.
Yeah, they were killing me.
Pardon?
Mike, I don't know, Mike. I don't know. You gotta ask somebody. I don't know. So yeah, people interested in buying farmland. So everyone, I put Taiwo's link in the chat room. Also, at the end of this video, it will be in the description as well. So reach out.
If you're interested in land banking, farmland, real estate. For example, I'm just, real estate is one thing that I push a lot because the little money, the money that you will use as a deposit here is what will actually buy your entire property over there.
Right.
One of my clients actually, bought a penthouse in Lagos, beautiful 3-bedroom penthouse overlooking in a new development for 28,000 pounds. A penthouse. Yes. I mean, how much are you going to buy a penthouse for in New York, in Manhattan? Because Lagos, yes, Lagos is
the box.
Do you see what I mean? When you say a penthouse for less than 30,000 pounds, it's no brainer. It's no brainer.
Our people are just programmed, Taiwo. Like you could take them to the water, but they're just programmed. The American dream. It's the American dream. They're just
it's the quality, the amenities, they're exactly, if not superior to what you have here. There's some properties on the websites where we have the show homes. So there's the show home, we video them, and you can see what exactly is going to be the end results of your investment. You can see, and these are the quality, the technology is incorporated in the lifestyle of of those apartments, and you're getting them for a fraction of what you would get them for in the UK or in America.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as like HOA and the monthly maintenance fees and all that, how much is that usually?
Again, it depends on the real estate. There's some developments where you do have solar panels, where you have the water, how do you call it, the boreholes, where the water is delivered from the estate itself. It's not coming from the city council. The estate is generating its own electricity, it's generating its own water. You've got the security, you've got the maintenance of the communal areas like the swimming pool, the basketball court, and all those things. So the maintenance is roughly, I would say, is about maybe 20,000 naira a month. And 20,000 naira a month is like maybe 60,
$70 USD.
Yeah, $70, a month, and that includes your security, your water, your electricity, your swimming pool, your basketball court, your tennis ball, tennis court, and all those things. It includes everything.
It just makes sense. Now, people in the chat room are like, people in the chat room are saying it's just too good to be true. That's what some people. I just don't know. We're programmed, Taiwo. We are programmed.
It's the programming of our mind. It's the programming of our mind, because we're thinking Africa, I'm going to be living with lions and the snakes are going to come into my huts. I'm going to be no, not at all. If you are a middle, let's say maybe a working class here in the Western Hemisphere, you actually be with your income. If you have an income of £1,000 a month, for example, coming from a real estate here, you have a real estate in America, you're earning £1,000 a month from it. You're earning £1,000 from it. In Nigeria, you are part of the upper class,
right?
Because the average salary in Nigeria is £80 to £100 a month. So if you were to have £1,000 come in, well, you can see what position you will be occupying over there. It's no brainer.
I think what it is too, Taiwo, it's for a lot of people, it's the lump sum. Because the average black American, they might have $100 in their savings. So I think when people, even though it makes sense, a lot of people we're just so used to having the minimum. You have good credit, bank will front you, 95%, 97%, and then pay that way. So I think they're just the concept of just paying up front and being done with it. That's just a foreign concept here in America with credit.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That is a foreign concept, and that is the Western world actually stealing from you, if you think about it.
Uh,
When you have a mortgage, when you take a loan from the bank and you're paying 2.5 times the amount that you borrowed, that is the state milking you. In Nigeria, if you don't have money, you don't eat. If
right.
you don't have if you just have money to build your house to the first level, well, you're going to be living in that first level until you've got money to build the second level. So the concept of actually living according to what you can afford is not it's an Afri it's normal for me. It's normal. You don't live beyond your means. But here we've been accustomed to live beyond our means. We've been accustomed to have access to credit card, have access to overdraft facility at the banks, access to various ways of just getting in debt and then crippling ourselves and living in fear. Whereas, in Nigeria, you live according to what you can afford to live on.
Mhm.
So the concept of having to pay a lump sum for the deposits, well, it's just one of those. You just have to tighten your belt, make it a priority, if it's a priority or not, make it a priority, and save. And once you get to the amount that you need to put down the deposit, put down the deposit, and here you go. You know.
Now, there was another question I wanted to ask, Towel guys. So hit that like button. Also, too, uh, next tour coming up in March 20th to the 26th. If you're interested, we are going to Nigeria. Everybody's excited about Nigeria. Excited about Nigeria. I mean, come visit. At least put 10 toes on the ground. Even if you can't, there's still ways to get involved. But next tour is March 20th to the 26th. March 20th to the 26th. Um, Email me if you have any questions. Go to dynastymirror.com or Uhuru search for Uhuru.com for questions for the next tour in Nigeria, March 20th through the 26th. Guys, leave Natalie alone. I think she was being sincere when she was saying it's too good to be true. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I'll leave Natalie alone, please. Just don't time.
Well, all the some of the examples I've mentioned, they are all on the website. So if you were to visit my website and then you click on properties, you can actually go through the description and what exactly you're getting for your money. And then obviously the prices over there on the website are written in Nigeria naira. So you see figures of like 7 million, but there is a converter tool on the side, on the right hand side. You can just put the amount in there, and then it will give you the calculation in pounds or in dollars. So yeah, just visit the website and then see for yourself really
Okay.
what we're selling. So
There we go. What we'll do, let's see here. Do we have any more questions? Any more questions, you guys? Mike, send me an email, and we'll connect. Howell, anything else you'd like to share in closing? Take your time. Floor is yours.
okay. One thing that I would like to add for our African diaspora family is that whilst you're here asking questions and finding excuses not to go to Africa, other people aren't going to Africa. Other, the Chinese are in Africa, the Lebanese are in Africa, the white people are in Africa, and they're just going ahead and just doing their thing.
Right.
And I do a lot of marketing online on social media, and I can tell you that the majority of people who contact me are not African diaspora. The company, I started the company to help the African diaspora to invest and make everything easy for them to go ahead and just, jump. But a lot of our people are very scared. They're very hesitant. And by doing so, you're just watching the opportunity pass you by. So if you have any questions, if you want to speak with maybe a legal advisor, a lawyer in real estate, get in touch with me. We have lawyers that we work with. We'll link you with them. You can ask them any questions that you might want, that you have. If you want to speak with some of the property developers that we work with, you can, we'll link you up with them and you can find out any questions that you might have. So we're very, very transparent in what we do. And we're here to help. We're here to help the African diaspora to invest in the motherland. So,
absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for joining. And one last time, Taiwo, how can people reach you? Email, address. You have a YouTube page too, so people can go.
Yeah, the YouTube page, Global African Investors Alliance, it will come up. On the YouTube page, we have examples of business investment opportunities that are there in Africa. So, for people who have small budgets, the opportunity is there. For people who are looking for, bigger budgets, like investing in oil and gas, investing in solar panels, investing in, things that requires a bigger, capital, we're there as well for you. So, in terms of real estate, our website, globalafricaninvestors.com, different kind of opportunities there. Farmland, land banking, real estate, student accommodation, investment, everything is there for every budget, to get involved in. So if you have any questions, just drop me an email. My email is on the website. You can also drop us an email at info@globalafricaninvestorsalliance.com, and we'll get in touch with you.
Absolutely. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Please check out Taiwo. Also, make sure you go to dynastymirror.com, like, share, subscribe. I know for a fact I will finally be a property owner in Nigeria this year. So my plan is I want a nice condo in Lagos. I'm going to have my land, Ororuro, Osogbo, and then I'm getting in Freetown. That's my plan.
Good plan. And investing in Lagos, you can't go wrong.
Right.
You can't go wrong. Investing in Lagos today is like investing in New York in the early 1980s.
Right. I'm gonna
because
tell you,
with the Dangote refinery coming, the Dangote refinery will bring additional 250,000 people to Lagos.
Right.
And Dangote has got accommodation planned for, I believe, about 50,000. So 200,000 people need accommodation. So buying in that area, you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong.
What's going to happen, Taiwo, like it always happens? Black people, we're going to sit on the fence. We're going to criticize. Then by the time it's Wakanda, we're going to try to get in, and the price is going to be too much, and we're going to cry about, not getting, you can't get in. We're being gentrified. It's just like we try to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more I can do. I've been, following some YouTubers for quite some time, and I've been listening to what the African diaspora, what they always complain about. Africans are not inviting us. African is not reaching out to us. We don't, here, I say, okay, here's something I can do. This is what I can do personally. Extend my company, my UK company, to Nigeria and deliver, accommodation to our people. So it says there, we're reaching out to the African diaspora. You don't even have to own a passport to be able to invest in Nigeria.
Right.
If you need to speak to lawyers, we'll link you up with lawyers that will do all the paperwork for you. You can be in partnership with business in Nigeria. It is legally, Nigeria, you do know that if you're not a Nigerian national, you have to have a partner who is Nigerian. You do know that's right, Dynast.
Right. That's for a business.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry?
That's the start of business, correct?
Yeah, that's for businesses. Yes, right. That's for business. So if you want to own business in Nigeria, if you're not a Nigerian, national, you have to have a partner who is Nigerian in there. So we make it easy if you want to start any kind of business. We link you up with somebody who is already in that industry. We can link you up, and then you can just take things from there. So don't hesitate. Hesitation costs money. Time costs money. So
I'm telling you, we priced out. We can't afford it. It's coming. It's coming.
If you can buy a pair of shoes, Jordans. I don't know how much Jordans cost. I've never owned one. I don't have one.
$400 now.
$400.
$200 USD.
$200.
About 160 euros.
Okay. Well, for that kind of money, you can own a little plot of farmland.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, all the information. If you have any more questions, just drop me an email. You've got my email there, and I'll be here to help out. Really.
Absolutely. So, Taiwo, thank you so much for joining. Everyone, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, peace.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Odabo.
Odabo.